It's the Dubplate Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio.
Yes then, people, it is that time again. It's just gone 4 minutes past 8 here on Trickstar Radio. We are absolutely buzzing in the studio because we found someone who used to be down here a fair bit. I don't know where he's been floating around the globe by the sounds of things. Man, like Pedrin Edu's in the building. How you doing, sir?
Yes, I'm feeling good, feeling great. You know my tagline. Happy to be back.
Bro, honestly, I can't lie. If anyone who's listening in doesn't watch Pedrin, go and follow this guy because I feel like I am following like a film half the time when I'm looking at this guy's story. Every time I see you, you're either in a different country doing like a modelling show, you're playing at a function. Like since you've moved up to London, it seems like the world has exploded literally for you. It's crazy.
Yeah, like just again, like I always say, I feel like I've been saying this in the literally for the last 5 months that I've been coming here on the show. Obviously, I have this long extended break because I've been very busy.
You've been everywhere.
Yes, thank God. But yeah, I feel like like I say, as much as I love Brighton, and Brighton is always gonna be home to me for sure. That's why I'm always down to like come here, do radio, and obviously try to still participate within the community of my lovely Brighton. But yeah, I feel like moving to London was a huge, boost, to my professional career in all levels, creatively. Be able to, modeling, not only in London, but now being able to, book, internationally travel, and shoot outside of, my normal environment. But also be able to, start DJing in different functions and different events, meeting a lot of like cool people and learning music production as well, having my own studio now in London, and just like slowly getting there in a rhythm that is just making me feel very good and very motivated for the future. So
amazing stuff.
Yeah,
fantastic stuff.
Definitely.
Well, obviously with those sort of functions, not even necessarily just playing, just going to certain functions. There was one I saw you at moderately recently.
Yes,
I saw it on my story, and I went, how's he do this every single time? I've seen this guy in a KSI video. I've seen him on a Euros advert. Next thing I know, he's at the launch party for Juls, The Sound of My World. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to message him and go, you know what? Let's come down to Brighton and let's do a review of the full album. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next hour.
Amazing.
First of all, I do have to ask, the fan in me is going, please tell me stuff. How was the launch party? Because it looked like an absolute vibe from the story.
First of all, let me preface this saying that everybody who knows me knows that Juls is, look, obviously I'm a spiritual person, I'm a believer, so I believe in God. But like in terms of like, creative talent, music talent, like Juls is the producer, is the DJ, he's the one that I look up to, He's a huge reason of I'm doing what I'm doing nowadays. Like it's straight up, and I always consider him kind of like a, idol, mentor, or sort of sorts. I have the pleasure to meet him 2 years ago, and ever since then, we've been slowly, building that, organic relationship. But I'm still considering myself first and foremost a fan. And yeah, like his music, his production, changed me and make me be able to like, I can do this as well. When I first listened to in 2015, 2016, the first songs that he started to produce and making waves for Mr. Easy, Skin Tight. And I was like, who produced this? That was the first Afrobeats track that I was like, who is the producer of this? So to now, fast forward 6-7 years later, be able to be invited by him, to attend to the release party, the private listening party of his debut album, Sounds of My World. It's an amazing honor and a great experience, man, bro. Like such a big vibe. A lot of people, that like, from within, the African, music industry. Whether, obviously the Tommy Agapes, the Tai Iwad, Hailey from Western was there. Like, you name it, bro. Like, I can literally, the list goes on and on. It was such an amazing party. It was sponsored by Hennessy, so we have free Hennessy.
Fair enough. You can't complain, can you, realistically?
And we got to enjoy the album, before it was dropped. And, bro, literally, the first listen to it was was mind blowing.
It's awesome. Well, I'm kind of glad we're going to get to do this again then, because this is like a different. Obviously, it's nowhere near the same level of grandeur, but it's still very much enjoyable, kind of listening through and talking through stuff. We did open up with "Close to Me," which is for me. We had it on the playlist. It's such a creative look at what Juls does, and I feel as kind of one of the first tracks on the album. It's such a good way of kind of going, look, we're in for a ride here. It kind of immediately makes you go, this isn't going to be a cookie-cutter project.
Yes.
This is going to be us throwing things that you're not expecting out there. Obviously, seeing Agent Sasco getting involved is such a cool one, because I feel like such an underrated kind of head within that dancehall world. And then you obviously get the likes of Wizkid, obviously. Need I say more? And then JL on there as well. It's a wicked link-up to kind of kick things off, I believe.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, it is the second time that he collaborated with Agent Sasco as well. They collaborated in his previous mixtape, the Colors mixtape. And look, when I listened to the song on the listening party, I was like, ooh.
It's just different, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, yo, I wasn't expecting, Wizkid in this kind of groove. Obviously, like, Wizkid loved to sing and write, those like smooth grooves. But it felt like, because the song starts with like the no, but even before that with the beatboxing, like
yeah.
And I was like, yo. And then like how, it make the slow transition to the boom, 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 boom. I was like,
It's just so creative, man. It's so creative.
It's such a good way to start an album.
Yeah,
it was such a good opener.
It's almost like getting a taster plate of like, well, this is what's on the way. We're gonna throw some things you're gonna love. There's gonna be some things that are gonna make your ears go, wait, what are we doing here? And then you're gonna go back to a different kind of level. And this is such a fantastic way to kick things off. So this is what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be listening through the tracks live on air. We are gonna be editing this up for YouTube afterwards. So obviously the YouTube video won't have the full songs in there. We're gonna primarily focus in on the conversation and the review. We're gonna open up with Summer in the End. This one alongside Jazz Karis and George the Poet, and then the sounds of Makosa featuring the aforementioned Hailey. So we're going to get into both of these right about now. We're live on Trickstar. It's Kxvu and Pedrin Edu taking you through. The sounds of Juls as we jump into the sounds of my world. This one, Makosa Rhythm featuring Hailey, obviously representing Western. This one is beautiful, as was the track before on the listing that we're running through today. Obviously, the sounds of Summer in the Ends featuring the wonderful Jazz Karis and George the Poet. This is our live listen of the project. Both of these tunes, again, we were saying off air, the level of creativity that goes into the A&Ring behind the collaborative nature of this project. Obviously, Juls is a producer first and foremost, I feel. That's his main... if you were going to go one thing, that's what he does. So he has to be the person, I suppose, to find, or at least envisage, who is going to go over each track. You were saying off air about, obviously, he's been someone that's been doing this for a long period of time in regards to linking the right person up with the right sort of song, in regards to like old mixtapes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was saying like, Juls has such a great ear for music and for talent as well. And I feel like in these two songs, it's a great example of like knowing, okay, what kind of artists work best with this type of instrumental. Like, Summer in the Ends is amazing. Like, he's like 2 for 2 with his collaboration with Jazz Karis. It's just a match made in heaven, really, after Soweto Blues, which is... It's pretty much a classic African song now.
At this point, it really is.
Soweto Blues is just like, look, amazing track. But like, Close to Me is just like the perfect like sequel or basically that is basically feels like, okay, the ride continues. And then like this next tune, Makosa Rhythm, bro, like, first of all, I feel like Hailey, he deserves his flowers, bro.
Well, he's, in my opinion, and my genuine thing on this, I think there are only two better hook deliverers
in the UK.
I think he is one of the best hook deliverers in the UK.
To me, he's the best. To me,
yeah.
But like, yeah,
there's no way he's not in anyone's conversation. Put it that way.
He's crazy, bro. He can't miss. Like he literally just like he just cough and he drops melodies. Like, bro, like. The dude is just amazing, and how well he fits, with the laid back, kind of like I'm a piano-ish, type of vibe of, that Makosa Rhythm has. It's just another match made in heaven, man. I never thought that I would hear Juls with Hailey from the Western, but I'm glad they did that collab. And he said on the release party that was the last song made.
Okay.
It was made literally 1 week or 2, if I remember correctly. Excuse me if I'm not Jules. But yeah, it was literally the latest track made on the album, and he wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
It was like,
I mean,
yo,
you want the highly feature if you can, you know.
bro. You want that
Vocal,
voice,
that
and
vocal that is just it just slaps every time. Like, as you said, it doesn't miss.
he doesn't miss, bro.
Again, awesome production on this one as well. I mean, I'm saying awesome production as though that's a new thing for Jules, but he just hits the nail on the head every time. The thing is, as well, the thing I've loved about listening through this album is it doesn't sound samey.
Yes,
he's going for similar themes, similar sort of instrumentation, similar layouts, but none of it sounds samey. It's crazy how you're able to get that level of uniqueness and individuality into each recording and arrangement.
I'm glad you mentioned that, bro, because like to me, that was the first thing that I noticed. I feel like how's every single song so far listening to the project sounds so different, but you can tell it has that element.
Yeah,
like you can't even like.
So there's a touch of cinnamon somewhere which binds everything together.
That you know that like that's the Jules thing. That's the Jules sound. But every single song sounds different. We hear like "Close to Me." It start with the kind of like with the boom bap type of beat. Then it transition into like more like smoother kind of like reggae, like with the dum 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 dum. You know, like those like loud and like, you know, grandiose, you know, bass, you know, surrounding the whole track. Then you go to like, you know, Summer in the Ends, you know, opening the track with like some like kind of like meditation, you know, motion, you know, with Jules the Poet. And then like kind of like, you know, like a Afro house, you know, black coffee, you know, type of vibe, you know, mixing with the Jazz Caris voice. And now you go to like, you know, Makossa Rhythm with Hailey. And you have like literally an Amapiano track, which Amapiano is a subgenre of Afro house, South African house. So
there
like,
are so many elements involved.
It's just so well connected, but so different from each other that it's a masterpiece so far.
It is a masterpiece so far, and we're going to carry on. We're going to keep getting into new ones. This next one, the sounds of Love Me, and then we're going to get into internationally as well. So I'm looking forward to getting into both of these. Keep it locked, people. Trickstar Radio. More fantastic flavours. That one internationally alongside Fireboy DML, who I've got to say is almost like a golden ticket at this point to a hit. I've listened through. Obviously, I genuinely feel when you listen back to Spinall's album, the standout track is the Fireboy is Sede. That's the one that stands out when I think about listening back to the album. It was the standout single as well. This guy is a cheat code.
Yes, bro. Obviously, we're gonna talk about internationally, but have you heard about Peru? He dropped a song like literally like a random Lucy, Fireball DML called Peru. Like a random Lucy, like July. Oh, album is coming on the way. On the meantime, just listen to this. Bro, I've been obsessed with that song. Peru. No, bro, I'll share you the link. Everybody has to listen to it in here.
I'm pretty sure I did a reaction to it. Now I think about it. I'm pretty
Peru
sure.
Is, bro, it's just such a simple song, but so amazing. The song is just like 2 minutes and a half, but like he killed he has that voice, and he does the same here in Intentionally.
You know what? In a similar way to Hailey, now I think about it. In a similar way that he can just hear something and go, I know exactly what's going to work with this. And you can tell it's not a laboured process. It's not going carving away at it and going, it's just natural.
Yes.
You can tell it's just natural. Again, on this one, we were saying on both of these, I was saying it feels like upper body movement.
Yes.
These give you upper body movement. You can sit down and you're still moving to these tunes.
And again, the rhythm has changed as well.
Yeah.
Like, you get to listen to the first, what was the run after Makossa Rhythm? Yes, Love Me, but with Niniola. Very like, you know, I love like hard drums, like so many switches. That one feel more like Afrobeat, proper like Afrobeat type of beat. And yeah, Niniola killed it. But then like, you know, Intentionally with Fireball DML, it was more like, again, laid back. It's kind of like a mixture of like, you know, Nigerian music and, you know, Caribbean music as well. It's kind of like have like that reggae groove. So which is a mix of, you know, Jules' worlds as well, because obviously being a black African man, but being born and raised in Hackney, and then like he has that London element, and London is very known for like their, you know, Jamaican culture, you know, and Caribbean culture. So yeah, I feel like you can hear that influence, you know, that Caribbean and African influence mixed with the let's say Black British in his music. So that makes an amazing track again, intentionally, which is the single currently, the song that he's pushing from the album.
I mean, it makes sense to push it as the single. Again, it just makes
it's cheat code.
It just makes it the cheat code, man, each and every time. I mean, obviously, we're almost halfway through this live listen already, which is crazy. Like we're just zooming through it, obviously breaking down our opinions on tracks and things like that. What's been your standout so far from the tracks we've heard kind of today?
Bro, I have an internal debate between Summer in the Ends and Makossa Rhythm. Like, it's a huge internal rhythm because, like, oh, bro, like Jaskari's voice with that rhythm, it just
it's electrifying.
Yes, bro, like she makes me feel something when she's like na 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 na, or when she's like with the pa da pa 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 pa, and then like you hear like dun dun dun, and then like the saxophone. It's just like such an amazing like mixture of like the sound palette of it. It's just so rich, but Makossa Rhythm, bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
I think I might be with you on Makossa Rhythm. To be
bro,
honest
Makossa Rhythm is just.
Do you know what it is as well?
Bro.
It's in the context of an album.
Yes.
I feel Makossa Rhythm stands out as like a part of a project, but almost like a leading light within that project, if that makes sense. Like it may be standalone if you were to hear them all maybe a week apart. My opinion might differ slightly, but in the context of the album, it feels like Makossa Rhythm is like, I'm part of this, but I am leading the way.
Yes, I'm even
a functioning cam.
Yeah,
a functioning cam.
I even asked my girlfriend literally yesterday while we were like, doing like face masks and like brushing the teeth, and it was like, yeah, I've been listening to the album and all the songs are great, but from all the songs on the album, this one is like the standout.
Yeah, I think it is.
Like, it's just different, bro.
Yeah. What we're going to do, we're going to jump into one more tune, and this is a personal favourite of both of ours. It goes by the name Wicked, so we're going to get into this and then break it down straight afterwards. Keep it locked, people. Trickstar Radio. So we were having this conversation about what is the biggest track on the project.
Yes.
Now, obviously, there's been sort of campaigns for different tracks on the project. There's been a lot of love for individual songs that have been on the project. This one, if we're talking individuality and standout and catchiness, and I actually feel longevity, this is a tune that people are going to remember. I feel this one may have just taken the kind of leading crown.
Yeah, this is the most unique
100%.
track. Like, I don't even know how to start describing this track. Like,
I mean, what a link up as Kadiata alongside Nux and Sam Wise. Like, what again the genius behind the chemistry of putting that together. Like, that is some well thought out formula. It's like, again, I hate to go back to football, but it's like designing a team that works. You know, it's like designing a team that you see and you're like, that makes so much sense.
But at the same time, you wouldn't even thought about them together until you actually hear them together.
It's like Football Manager, but for musical collaborations.
Yes, literally, like, and obviously, like, it's just again like highlighting, the great, A&R ear that Juls has. Again, when he's gonna be in his 50s or 60s, he's gonna be an amazing record label exec. Like, he can like create his own record label and curate and put talent together. He can be, I know this is big words, but like, I feel like, again, I always been saying this, we don't give the same recognition, to African producers and tech masters like, we did to American ones or even like, UK ones. But Juls can, I know there's big words, but he can be like an African Quincy Jones. In terms of
I don't think that's too huge, to be honest with you.
Like, it's just I've been saying this. He's again, this when my fandom comes out, but like, he's been the best producer in Africa, in my opinion. And I'll say this. The reason why I'm saying this is because some producers that will do that specific sound that they're good at.
Yeah.
Or they might divert every here and there, but like, them for that specific sound. Juls, literally, like we've been talking about it. The sound palette of every single individual track.
And this is the thing: I couldn't name you what makes a Juls tune a Juls tune. Off the top of my head, I couldn't go, it's that element there.
Yes, you can't.
It's different every time, but it still has like a warmth to it. It has like, it's almost like the wrapping paper it comes in to an extent is what makes it like, it's crazy. That's always been my thing. Not being able to tell me why someone is good is actually quite a good thing. If you can't tell me what individual thing makes this guy so special because it's different every time, that shows consistency with versatility, which is one of the hardest combinations to find.
Exactly that part, like the versatility aspect. We literally just listened to it in this track. Like you start the track with like woo, wicked, and then like the beat is so like, bro, like I don't know if you give it the word.
Bringing you them morning flavors on Trickstar Radio.
Like it's like punching a bubble, like the boom boom boom. It's just like, and then Kadiata comes and it switch up into like a baile funk type of beat, and then Nux comes and it feels like a Portuguese rhythm or like I'm like, bro, all of this and the same track, and then you do the outro with the. I'm like, yo, all of that in a 3 minutes.
It's quite literally a picnic of delights, shall we say? There are so many enjoyable flavors.
I feel like he was showing out. I was like, yo, I'm gonna show you guys what I'm able to do in just 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and just like, and I feel like I heard.
just did the knuckle crack. Just did the knuckle crack and went right. Cool, we're in.
And I feel like he. I don't know if he actually mentioned it on the private party or if I listened to it in an interview, because I try to check every Juls interview or whatever he does professionally, and he mentioned that he specifically designed, each verse according to like its kind of like each artist, vibe or grooves. So for example, Kadiata, he's from he has like Angola, heritage. So he was like, okay, Angola is kind of like more like Portuguese, Brazilian, type of vibe. I'm gonna give you the baile funk. Like sound wise, more like UK vibe. So it's just like his rhythms more like heavy bass, more like UK vibe. And then like you have Nux, with the obviously UK Black British, but like also like the African influence. And he's quite jazzy, he calls himself the laid back one.
Yeah.
So it's just such a again. The A&R aspect of Jules and knowing what works best with each artist is what makes him so great, and that's the big difference between a beat maker and a producer.
100%.
He's a producer. He produced the tracks. He actually like takes the best out of each artist and he squeezes to make the best result, and that's why this album so far we are on the weekend track. Amazing.
It is truly spectacular. We're going to carry on and keep getting through new ones. This next one, a collaboration with Salty Soul that goes by the name Mare. Again, such a clever way to do things. And then we're going to get into Love Language after that. So keep it locked, people. We're live on Trickstar Radio. It's Kxvu and Pedrin taking you through. Beautiful stuff on this one. The sounds of Maya Andrade with Juls. This one, Love Language. I'm losing myself in this one.
Bro, just listen to the voice.
Yeah.
Turn it up.
Come on. It's outrageous. It's just so good to the point where I'm willing to have songs going into the video sections of this. It might even get blocked. I don't care at this point. It's so good. This one's so silky. Like there's something about the arrangement on this one that just gives me such a. I can't think it's smoky in the way it kind of comes across. I feel like I'm sat down.
In the beach, bro.
Yeah.
You are in the beach. You are, drinking, a caipirinha. Just like, listen to literally this song, seeing some kids, in the horizon, playing some, volleyball, and life is good. I just feel like this track specifically is just. Every single track is a feel-good song, but this one is a different level of relaxation. Yeah. And also, like, I love the fact that, like...
I'm not wearing shades, but I feel like I'm wearing shades.
And I love the fact as well that, like, it adds that element as well of, like, the Portuguese touch, Maria Andrade, being, an artist, hailing from, I'm not sure if she's from Angola. She's either from Angola or Portugal, or like from Portugal, from Angola heritage. But however it might be, I might be wrong, but however it might be, she's just so perfectly well put on this track. Again, we were talking about, the arrangements and the ear for, like, which artist will be good for each instrumental, and this is another great example. This track is just so good.
Yeah,
so good.
everything about it I listen. Like, this is out of the album, this is one for me that I've had, like,
It's
you know
slow
when you
burner.
take bits off an album,
Yeah.
and you'll take like 2 or 3 songs, maybe 4 at a push, and you'll go, I'm going to put them into my general listening. This is one of the ones where I'm like, this is one that I'm going to keep.
Yeah,
It's like it's a little like gem you can throw out. I'd love to play this in a dance and just see what happens. Just see what happens, because I don't know. I think people would be a little bit like, this isn't, something's happening and it's not me in control of it.
Yeah.
But there's it's so unique in the way it's been put together. Also, obviously, Salty Soul getting involved on the track before this. So cool. I love that as a collaboration. The use of percussion on that tune, on the intro as well, the sort of little stabs that you're just like, wow, where did that come from? The little metallic shings that you're hearing all the way through the middle. And again, so catchy. What a genius link up that is with Salty Soul as well.
I feel like Salty Soul is like one of the greatest groups of, not only East Africa, of Africa for the last decade. They've been so amazing for such a long time, and everything that they've been dropping is just highly quality material, bro. Like, they can't miss. So I was very pleased with this.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
I was like, Salty Soul and a Juls track. I was like,
Yeah, we're gonna end up with some gemminess off the back of this. You can check out our interview we did with Salty Soul. That's available on the Trickstar Radio app and, of course, the Trickstar Radio SoundCloud. And the reason I'm saying that as though we're about to run out of time is because we are nearly out of time. This has absolutely flown by. I love doing these album listens because we get to talk about the tunes, but also take them in.
Enjoyed it, bro.
This to me, now I've done it, it feels like we've just. I feel I have a new perspective on it. If you know what I mean, I feel like I have a new kind of understanding for it. I feel like I have a new appreciation for it after actually listening in and going, I want to break this down and do things in a different way. We've got one more tune to finish us off, though.
Yes, let's go.
Which is Melly Melly, featuring one of the voices of the moment in Oxlade, one of the most rapidly rising, I don't want to say up-and-comers because he's already past the stage of being an up-and-comer, newer faces, shall we say. One of the newer
faces of the new generation of Afrobeats. He's definitely part of it, Oxlade.
Because everywhere I'm going, I'm seeing this guy's name. It's like you. Everywhere I go, I see. I go on your story and see you everywhere. I go everywhere and see this guy.
Again, he's an artist that Juls put in his mixtape Colors 3 years ago.
I feel that might be a little bit of a mine for like good stuff. If you're looking for people who might pop over the next few years, just look back at that project. Yeah.
He has that. It's just like, just look at previous Juls projects and you will see that like your currently favorite artist was there 4 years ago. Like literally, he has like songs with Burna Boy in 2016.
Yeah.
2017. He got songs with Tai Iwa, the guy who is on Chance. I don't wanna this in 2016.
Yeah.
Like, and he's the guy who did like the hook on True Love with Wizkid.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So like that's again, we're talking about his ear for music and talent.
Do you feel this album is a good way of kind of almost? I'm trying to think of the best way to. This is a good way if you're going to tell someone who Juls is. Do you feel this is almost like the perfect album, the perfect project to do it with? It's like, do you want to know who Juls is? Listen to this, and you'll walk away not knowing but still loving.
Like he himself called this, his debut album, and I get that, like studio album, bigger budget, bigger artists. Obviously, you don't have like Wizkid in the track. You have like Salty Soul. We mentioned them. You have Bass from Dreamville, American Bass. So of course, like it deserves that qualification, and I feel that that's the reason why it's such a good presentation of who he is as a producer, as an artist, because producers are artists as well, and as an A&R, as somebody who has such an amazing ear.
It's almost like a fantastic CV, isn't it? Really?
Yes,
it's a CV.
Yes, literally, that's it. Like if you didn't hear like any of his like previous mixtapes, like with this debut album, to me it's just like the perfect reason to be like, yo, if you didn't knew, now you know
Now you
why
know.
he's one of the greatest, producers of all time in Africa. At least
Amazing.
Africa-wise.
Well, there we go. We're finished up there. We're going to get into Melly Melly next. Pedrin, it's been an
Sweet.
absolute pleasure having you down for
been
this.
amazing, bro.
I've loved doing this with you. We're going to definitely keep these up.
Yeah, for sure.
Next time there's a big album that I feel we could both sit down and talk about, we'll do that again.
Yes.
And we're going to finish up with this one, Melly Melly, alongside Oxlade. We've been
Banger.
listening to the sounds of Juls, the sounds of my world. Keep it locked and don't go anywhere, people. It's Trickstar Radio.
This is Breakfast with Kxvu, bringing you their morning flavors on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.